Our sports stickers brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Nebraska volleyball team advanced to the Elite Eight today after a sweep against Georgia Tech. With the win, the Huskers advanced to the regional final for the 11th time in the last 12 years. Nebraska will host number 3 seed Arkansas Saturday at 5 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 4 on the HRN. After the game, Coach Cook took to the podium where he was asked about finishing off the third set strong and closing out the game with a win.
Well, I think it was what Amy said, that play. Not only did it give us confidence, I think it deflated Georgia Tech, because it's like, okay, what do we have to do to get a point and get, that was just a, willpower play, and it just sends a message to the other team, like, these guys, nothing's going down.
We will hear more from Coach Cook's press conference and recap of the game coming up on the show. Former Nebraska baseball star Alex Gordon will be inducted into the College Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2023. During his time with the Huskers, Gordon was a 2-time All-American and first-team Big 12 entry. The 2005 National Player of the Year was the number 2 overall pick with the Kansas City Royals, where he spent his whole 14-year career. In the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers host the New England Patriots tonight on Thursday Night Football. The Steelers are fighting for a playoff spot and will be without starting quarterback Kenny Pickett due to an injury he suffered on Sunday. That game kicks off at 7:15 on Amazon Prime. The NBA in-season tournament semifinals are tonight in Las Vegas. The Milwaukee Bucks are winning 94-91 against the Indiana Pacers at the end of the third quarter, and later tonight, the Lakers play the Pelicans at 8. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Now Minnesota outside roll shot. Walker block back and it drops. Another block by the Big Red. Berg and Riley. Becca Alec, Nebraska piling those babies.
Fury and White stopping at the foul line after Jazz Shelley. Unguarded three. You betcha! Jazz Shelley with a Central Valley Egg 3 to start the third.
Against Lawrence on the other end. Lays it up. Shot blocked by Williams. Into the hands of Lawrence. The baseball pass and the jam. The jamola by Gary on the other end.
What a block by Bryce Williams to get that one started. Juwan Gary cherry-picking after the badly missed 3.
Sort of by Laney. Bad pass, and that's an ice. They did it. Conference champions. All by themselves. And the players dogpile. Oh, look at that emotion released. That's a happy bunch of Huskers and so deserving.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
This will be a fun night tonight. The Huskers on to the regional finals after disposing of Georgia Tech in quick fashion today. And Jessica, they do not have to face the Kentucky Wildcats for the second time this year. Here come the Razorbacks.
Woo pig, right? I think that's a good matchup. And Kentucky and Nebraska have so much history and the coaching tree, but also just Kentucky's been here. They've been here this season. You know, they weren't going to be intimidated. The environment wasn't going to affect them. And so I just, obviously you got to beat the best to be the best. But I think Arkansas is probably a little bit of a better matchup. I don't think they'll come. I mean, I think they could have a chance potentially to have a chance to be a little bit overwhelmed with the environment, the opportunity, the stage, all of that, because it's their first time ever playing in that.
Which I felt like that was the case today. I felt like Georgia Tech was a little overwhelmed. I think they were better than the way they played today, but Nebraska also kind of took it to another level, didn't they? I thought the Huskers were really sharp today. They
really were, and they came out from the start. And I know we saw a great start, what was it, against Missouri, and then let them get back in it. But I think they kept the pedal to the metal. And even when Georgia Tech showed some fight in that third set, boy, they turned it on at the end and went on, a 6-0 run and to get to match point. And so they came out sharp. And this is a team that has, time in and time out, played their best when the stage is the biggest, the lights are the brightest. And so, here they are and have this opportunity. They came out focused, laser sharp, and that's what they need. They've got to keep stringing those together and keep peaking.
Held Georgia Tech to negative hitting percentage. The defense was phenomenal. Lexi was throwing her body all over the court today, and I thought Allie Batenhorst played pretty well for Nebraska today. And I know our fans are clamoring to have Lindsey Krause back, and it would be great to have Lindsey, but those ankle sprains are just tough to get over. And in this sport, you're jumping all the time. You better have your ankles better be in good shape. And I don't know that we've dropped off much. I think Allie's played really well.
Yeah, I think Allie's really come along. She's playing with a lot of confidence right now too, and so she played really well that first set. She was really big in that first set, and I actually had a couple people ask me about that because Lindsey did go through warm-ups. She was actually in uniform, which was good to see. But someone was asking me, do you think it will mess up the chemistry? I don't really think that it will. Maybe it could, but because I think that's how this team is, and they've been able to kind of run people in whenever that's their motto, right? Is they're 14 strong, and they've got to be game changers from the bench and all these, whatever role it might be. But I think having Lindsey available, if you need a spark or whatever that might be, you don't want to rush her if she's not ready. But I don't necessarily find it concerning, just putting her in at this point in the season but who knows? I mean, they won't put her out there until she's ready. We know that for sure, and Coach Cook has said that. So until she's 100% ready to go. But I think just having the option to be able to go to her, she's delivering. You want to talk about delivering in the big moments. Like, look at her career over her past 3 seasons. She's really delivered and really thrives in those big-time moments and on those big-time stages. So if you have the option to go to her, I think is just another luxury to have for this volleyball team the further and further that they go along.
I was not in the gym. You were. Mm-hmm. How about the atmosphere for a 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon
It was
start?
loud.
Was it?
It was louder, I thought, than those 2 matches last weekend, even though those were night matches. But I thought it was loud, especially in that third set. Boy, they got fired up. And you have to think, too, how many seats are taken away for the
500 or 600,
Yeah,
I think.
the
Each
seats-
school gets like 150 or something.
The seats right behind the one bench were completely empty because I think that was Kentucky's.
Yeah.
And so a little bit emptier in that regard, but I thought it was rocking. They answered the bell. I know this team and Coach Cook had been asking for that all week. Hey, we need it. We need it. They're going to need it again. They'll tell you that they need it again. But I think, and just talking to the players afterwards, Becca and Merritt, and just chatting with them before, I mean, the crowd fuels them. They absolutely, Husker Nation fuels them. That's why they're so good at home. They've been so good at home. And so the more fired up they can be, the more they feed off of it.
One step away from the Final Four, which is next Thursday in Tampa. Kentucky is out. Arkansas will be the opponent. 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Our pregame coverage here on the HRN will begin at 4 with JB and Lauren. Lauren will be on the program with me tomorrow night to kind of break down the Razorbacks. They kept showing Coach Cook, you're allowed at the NCAA tournament to actually, this would really, Connor Stallions would not like this, because you're actually allowed to be in the gym and scout your next opponent in the NCAA tournament. And they kept showing Coach Cook sitting up near one of the suites watching the Arkansas-Kentucky match. But we'll have full coverage for you here. We're going to have a lot to come. We're going to hear some of Coach Cook's post-game comments. Jessica sat down with Becca Alec after the match. We'll play that for you. We'll play Kelly Hunter, who was with RJB and Lauren after the match. We'll have that for you tonight here in the program as well. We'd love your input and take on that at 402-413-2400. All right, we have to talk about last night. I wish I didn't have to. That was painful to watch. Fred Hoiberg's Huskers in Minneapolis. They responded, I thought, magnificently in the first half from the loss to Creighton. Built a 17-point lead at one point. It was 15 at the break. And then, Jessica, it was like the two teams traded uniforms.
Yeah.
It was like the same thing that happened in the first half happened for Minnesota in the second half. And I know a really disappointed, I'm sure, flight back to Lincoln after that loss.
Yeah. I mean, they look so good. You're like, oh, they're going to roll. That's what you've expected out of this Husker basketball team. But then they started giving up offensive rebounds. And Minnesota started getting some confidence, and then they couldn't hit it from the three. They were 1 for 10, I think, from 3-point.
Casey didn't make a basket.
Yeah, it just they struggled again. They went back to those offensive struggles, and I'm not sure exactly why they got out of rhythm. Maybe Minnesota picked up their defense a little bit, but I think sometimes I don't know, it went off the rails again, and now we've seen that against Creighton, and now last night where it just happened so quick, and I don't know how you fix that when you can't get the shots to go, how you get them going, but it was a completely opposite. It's like the tale of two halves. It really was. It was two completely different. We watched two different games in the first half and the second half.
Yes. Once we got to the game, I know the BTN was late for the coverage because of the overtime game with Maryland and Penn State. But they got loose with the ball, a lot of turnovers in the game last night. And
18.
And they've done a good job taking care of the basketball. So they just got out of whack. First true road game. That might have had something to do with that. We talked about that with Coach Hoiberg on his show on Monday night, they did play in Sioux Falls, but that was a neutral site, and it was 90% Husker fans, so that was kind of an extended home game. So this was the first time at a foreign gym where the crowd got behind the Gophers, and the Gophers gave them something to cheer about. But just a disappointing week for this program, and it sets up a giant game on Sunday with Michigan State, and they're coming off of a home loss. They got beat by Wisconsin last night, so they're going to be desperate. So, you hate to say must win, but it's a huge game, I think, for this team, Jessica, on Sunday for them to try to bounce back at home.
Yeah, I mean, just when you start talking about the Big Ten and how tough it is, and we've said all along, if you could go 500 or try to get around that 500 mark. And so, Minnesota was a game they should have won, or you would have penciled in as a potential win, right? So you got to find ways to, and you got to protect the home court. That's just the biggest thing that is said is steal them on the road, still a couple on the road, but protect home court. And so, I think it's a huge opportunity to bounce back and get back in the win column. And just in terms of, you have to find ways to win however you can in the Big Ten, because it's going to be a grind, and you're going to lose some games in the Big Ten. So win the ones you can. But, it was disappointing. I think we all thought that they would bounce back and come back and get that first Big Ten win. So now that becomes really important on Sunday.
I mean, I'm popping corks at halftime last night going, this is going to be great. We're rolling these guys, and then it flipped. I mean, Minnesota got it back to level, and then it was kind of an even game for about 4 or 5 minutes. And then Nebraska just couldn't get stops late. They could not get a defensive stop and try to get on top of the Gophers again over the last 5 or 6 minutes. So extremely disappointing finish in Minneapolis last night. Step back, though, everybody, and realize that's one of 20 conference games.
Yeah.
So, as Jessica just mentioned, it was a road game. I think if that had been at home and you had done that, I think that might have been just a real sucker punch. But I think come back home, try to get the Spartans on Sunday. That's a late afternoon tip at the PBA, and so we'll need a big crowd out there for that tonight. All right, a lot coming your way tonight, including some wrestling chatter. Huskers off this weekend after finishing second at the Cliff Keen out in Las Vegas last week. 2 Huskers crowned champions, Peyton Robb at 157 and Rich Lovett coming off of his redshirt year, won at 149. Jessica had a chance to catch up with him. We'll have that conversation for you coming up in hour number 2 as well. And, hey, it's Thursday night. Means Cole's joke is back.
Yes.
He was practicing all afternoon long. I heard a few that I don't want to hear again. Hopefully he chooses a good one for us tonight. So we have all that coming your way tonight. And again, your show, 402-413-2400. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with more of the show coming up.
Both Farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every year, every season presents a new opportunity. That is nothing new. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, embrace new opportunities. They focus on their roots and continue to stand strong with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperatives relies on their value of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. When you choose Aurora Cooperative, you're choosing a winning team that's dedicated to the success of our local farmers. Go Big Red and go Aurora Cooperative.
Woodhouse has been delivering you confidence in car buying since 1975, and now we're giving you the convenience of doing it 100% online with Buy Now. Anytime, from anywhere, you can compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected, pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that are available to purchase completely online. Shop smarter with personalized, estimated payments on all the inventory. Apply for financing and schedule your driveway delivery all online. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
Welcome to Sue's Frame Shop.
Yes, can you frame these, please?
These are Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic Scratch tickets.
I know. Isn't the classic Christmas artwork on them just charming? Now, be sure not to smudge it when you frame them.
But if you scratch them and enter non-winning tickets online, you could win up to $20,000.
Give me those. Here's a quarter. Let's start scratching.
Promotion ends January 3rd, 2024. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trailtainment 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer. Acres has solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night. Post a Husker win from earlier today at the Devaney Center. They sweep Georgia Tech, and now we'll play the Arkansas Razorbacks Saturday at 5 o'clock for a trip to the Final Four, which is in Tampa next Thursday night of the semifinals. Also, Pitt, the number 1 seed in their region, they moved on today, and they will not face the Creighton Blue Jays. Creighton played really well, though, today. Went 5 sets to Louisville. Louisville, though, a winner, so it's an all-ACC final in that region, Pitt and Louisville. That will also be on Saturday. Wisconsin way out early. They're up 24-10 in set one against Penn State. Purdue and Oregon on the other half of that regional up in Wisconsin. And the Stanford regional gets going later tonight as the ESPN Family Network spreads those matches out. John Cook, afterwards, a very happy coach. One of the keys was how well Nebraska defended Georgia Tech, holding for a large part of this match Georgia Tech to a negative hitting percentage. What was the key to that? Here's the coach.
Well, to me, the most impressive thing is that they followed the game plan. They stayed with it. And again, you get a lot of confidence from preparing well. And you could see it on our team. They were very confident in how we're going to defend these guys and serve them.
They've prepared well. I mean, and that's what they said, even though things were changing with the first serve time, but the way that they've done it all throughout the season, they've taken it one match at a time, and boy, they locked in and did answer the bell of what the coaching staff challenged them to do. And I think they just really bought into the game plan, and I think they've done that for the most part all season long.
And that's impressive as young as they are. That's where you would think the youth might show up, that they don't take their preparation seriously enough, or they don't listen during the scout and go, okay, this person likes to hit it here, or they like to do the slide in this particular instance. So that, to me, they're mature beyond their years. And I think we knew that early on, right?
Yeah.
Once you sit down and talk to these girls, and you did last May and June, kind of in and around their Brazil trip, you're like, man, they're really mature young women.
Yeah, and they had already been here. They all got here in January, so they all had a sense and a feel for not just Nebraska volleyball and the expectations and how to approach practices and film study. And then they got to go the overseas trip, which helped them build the chemistry, but also just how to manage being a college student. Like, that's always a big adjustment from high school to college. And so just figuring out all the things that you have to do. They do a lot of volunteer work, the study hours, all the things that go into that. And so I think that also allowed them to really grow up pretty fast too, to where, yeah, they're freshmen, but they've been here, so they're not really freshmen. I know they're experiencing a college season for the first time, but I asked Lindsey Peterson about that the other day, about how they've gone about watching film, because I asked Jordan Larson about it on The Dig a few weeks ago, and she talked about how it was a process for her. And most student athletes say that, right? That they have to learn how to watch film, learn the importance of it, what they're looking for, how to go about it. But Lindsey said these freshmen came in already good at that, and that they've been really good at it from the start. And a lot of it is because of the day and age that we're in, but that some of them even learn better by watching film as opposed to showing them physically at practice. And so I mean, I think that this is just a group that, and we've heard it over and over again, they've played such high-level volleyball, even though they haven't played here or in college volleyball. They've just played at the highest level up until the point that they've been able to, basically for years and years, and a lot of them together. And so I just don't think they're intimidated. They don't back down. They get mad when it's not, when the competitiveness, they're so competitive that when things aren't going their way, it kind of fires them up. They're competitive in practice, which pushes them and makes them better. So I just, yeah, it's a mature group, and we knew it really from the start.
So much has been made about no seniors, and that's true. But there's a lot of juniors in Lexi and Merritt, Krause, Batenhorst. They've played so much volleyball here, and they were a part of a Final Four team 2 years ago. So while they don't have a senior by their name, they're very experienced collegiate players.
Yeah, I think you could look at that junior class and that experience and think, well, that's a senior. If you just saw their resume and what they've done in their careers, you would assume they were seniors or maybe even fifth-year seniors with the COVID year. So, yeah, they're experienced and they know. But I think the way that they've welcomed in the freshmen, because that's always too, you got to still build that chemistry. And I just keep hearing every interview that I do with these players about the chemistry, how close they are, and how big that is to what they do on a volleyball court. And so you got to credit also the juniors with how they've welcomed in the freshmen and how they've been able to mesh. Because, for a while there when Lindsey was playing, Harper was taking time away from Allie.
Yep.
But they're like best friends. They're really close. And now, Allie steps in when her number was called. But I think they've got such a good balance, which is not hard to do when maybe some players are wanting and hoping for more playing time than what they're getting. But they've just got such a good chemistry and culture. And I shout out to those leaders, Lexi, Merritt, some of those older players for how they've really welcomed in these freshmen and know that they're key. They're the key. They are, because they're just such a big part to what they want to do ultimately as a team goal.
All right, number 1 overall seed. There's a lot of pressure that goes with that because you have a target. Everybody wants to knock off the overall number 1 seed, and this team certainly earned that with what they did during the regular season, only losing the 1 match that last weekend to Wisconsin. Coach was asked after the match today, how has this group handled all of that pressure?
Yeah, if you're around them every day in practice, I don't think it's bothering them too much. They're having fun, and I mean, we just had great energy. I think they're having fun. Tom, I really think this group, because I've been thinking about this a lot. I think they just love, the bigger the stage, the more they like it, the more they thrive on it. You know, our hardest matches are when it's not a big stage, and I just think these guys they love this. So that's how they've been last 2 weeks.
It's kind of what I said. I feel like they really deliver and step up and play their best when the stage is the biggest and the lights are the brightest. And so they relish in it. And I think you'll continue to see them with each, how much more is on the line. They'll continue to rise to the occasion. I really do.
Crypto King in our chat wants to know, would you guys talk about the 1 loss that they had? Do you think that was the best thing that could have happened to take off some of the pressure?
You know, I've asked that multiple times to some of the assistant coaches on the dig, and I don't think they really felt pressure from that because they have, and it sounds so cliche, that 1 match at a time, 1 point at a time. And so I don't think they were thinking, oh, we haven't been beaten. I don't think that for a second, you know, yeah, certainly it's talked about and the outside noise, but I don't think for them it was about, oh, we have to stay unbeaten. It's, we've got to do what we have to do in this next match. They just, again, going back to how you get a team to buy in, and especially for some of these younger players, but they totally have bought into that 1 match at a time. We have to focus on the next match. And we were talking about that back before leading into Wisconsin. You know, can you look ahead to that? But I don't think it necessarily weighed on them as much as maybe you think that it would, just from the conversations that I had. But certainly it was a wake-up call. I think it was they don't like to lose because they're just such competitors. I don't think it was so much the pressure of an undefeated season as it was, oh, we don't like that feeling. We've got to get back in the win column. I think they took a lot away. I think they learned a lot from that loss, not just because it was their first loss, but because of just the circumstances surrounding it.
It was interesting last week. They sweep both matches, and yet I think the perception was they didn't play very well last week against Long Island or Missouri. So the coach was asked, did you feel like your team today took it up another level?
Yeah, they took it up another level. Again, I think they were just more confident and comfortable. Again, we talk about with the NCAA tournament, there's all this riffraff going on. There's, you know, all these other people here and TV people here, and, you know, you can see all the riffraff going on. You're told when you can practice, all this stuff. So I just think the first time you go through that, it is distracting. And so I think they was way more comfortable with everything this week. And again, I mean, our team did it playing on a Thursday at 1 o'clock. It's not a normal thing for us. And so I thought they handled that really well.
I asked Lauren Cook-West about that in our pre-match preview about playing at 1 o'clock. And she said, I said, as a player, how does that affect you going into it? She's like, it's really hard because you have this routine. And Coach Cook is always big about that. He talks about the routine and staying in this routine. But they had to change up their routine this week. And boy, they bought into it, they locked into it, and did what they had to do to be able to work through that and not get caught up in, oh, this is not what we typically do on a match day. But yeah, I think it's probably too. I didn't talk to any of the freshmen following that first weekend, but it's different. Even though we're sitting here talking how experienced they are and mature they are, but still, it's a different kind of weekend and set of matches that you have to work through, even though you're saying, hey, it's just a typical match. But it is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of distractions. There's media. There's open practices. You got other teams that are in your gym, and it's just a lot going on that you have to learn how to manage.
Well, they're missing class today.
Yeah.
So I probably had to get them out of class to go do that. It's just, you know, that sport is more regimented to play at night. And football, football plays all over the day, but those are always Saturday games. So it doesn't really matter as much there because you're not having to miss a class or do those type of things. All right, we need to take a break. 402-413-2400. Some texts are coming in. We'll get to some of those when we come back. Jessica did catch up with Becca Alec after the win today over Georgia Tech. We'll have that conversation coming your way next.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student-athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student-athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Shop smarter online for your next vehicle with Buy Now from Woodhouse. Car buying 100% online from your local trusted auto partner. Easily compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected cars, trucks, and SUVs features, capabilities, and payments. Conveniently apply for financing and complete your paperwork for purchase 100% online, anytime from anywhere. Plus, we'll deliver it to your driveway. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student-athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student-athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. No judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you Thursday night. Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Cole looked this up today, Jessica. Let's see if you can get this. He asked me, and I had no clue. We have a full show tonight and tomorrow with no coaches shows, just You and I for 2 nights here.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time that happened?
Probably in October.
Gosh, you got it, Cole.
Did you
I
know?
was like, I bet it's August. I go, I bet not. But it was the bye week.
Oh, yeah.
No football shows and stuff that week. So but that's 2 months ago since we've had back-to-back nights of full 2-hour sports nightlies. How about that?
I mean, it kind of seems like it.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I walk in here, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Crazy. All right, after the match today, the Huskers sweep over Georgia Tech. Jessica caught up with middle blocker Becca Alec.
Here with Becca Alec, another big win. Well, how much fun was that one out there?
Oh, it was so fun. I love a good competition.
What was the focus going into this one? I mean, early set and kind of out of the routine a little bit, but you guys came out so hot from the start. Kind of what was the focus and mindset of this team going into this one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the biggest thing was to respect them. I mean, we've never played it against them before, and we knew they were going to be gritty. And so having that mindset just of respect and being present was a huge thing for us.
The defense. How would you describe the defense today? How important was that?
It's everything. Nebraska volleyball is a defensive school, and so when we had the opportunity to display that today, it was just, I mean, it's just us being ourselves. I mean, that's just everything we train in the gym. Offense is going to come, but defense has to happen.
The point where I think it was Bergen hits it up, you hit it into the net, and then Merritt. You were so fired up, but I mean, how much is that just really a perfect picture of this team that you never give up? It's 1 point at a time, and whatever you got to do to get the point.
Exactly. I mean, so as a middle, I'm gonna say that as a middle, we actually do this drill where we call it China, and it's just being scrappy out of the net. A coach will throw it in the net. You need to get 2 touches, and it needs to get back to the setter. So the biggest thing in that moment, I remember seeing it go through the net, and it was like I was back in the gym doing that drill, and it was like, okay, I'm like, gotta be calm, composed. I don't need to freak out. Just get it high, playable. Didn't realize it was gonna be a perfect set. Merritt buried it, and I just got hyped. I mean, I love it when we hit the ball hard.
It seems like you were more fired up for that than any point or kill or block that you got.
Because those are the drills, I think, as you know, I've been playing this game for so long, like doing the little things, they get overlooked. And so when I got a chance to display that and actually showcase, because those are the drills in practice, we're like, man, this never happens in a game. They happen at crucial moments. And we talked about the volleyball gods. They will always find you when you're not ready. So the fact that I got the opportunity to do it, I'm like, that meant everything to me.
That's amazing. Bergen and her kind of balance. It seemed like everybody was involved. Everybody got a chance to contribute to the offense. How important was that for what you guys were able to do?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to say, like, we're a hard team to scout. You know, we have a lot of options. And so being able to execute whenever I am given the opportunity is only fueling the fire and making it harder for teams to figure out what they need to do against us. And, you know, I don't really care how young or whatever no, that woman is skilled in what she does, and she is a beautiful, intelligent woman, and yeah, she killed the game.
You know, I asked Bergen or Merritt about this, but the 2-point set or 2-point match kind of mentality, you guys dominate the first 2 sets, or it wasn't necessarily always close, but when it gets tight in that third set, how does that flip? How does that switch? What is that mindset like when you know, okay, it's a battle here, we got to go win this by 2 points?
Yeah, for sure. Bergen made a beautiful point on the bench when I think either coach or Georgia called a timeout, and she said, we do not need to make a 5-point play. Okay, we just need 1 point. And that really helped calm a lot of what was going on in my head and made me realize this is the same game I've been playing for so long. When we are in the 19-15 drill in practice, I don't need to bounce the ball in order for us to get an advantage. I just need to either throw it down, make the defense move, get somebody sandy. And that was just the biggest thing. When it is tight, the last thing you need to do is overcompensate, and that's exactly what we did.
How about the crowd today? I mean, I know you guys challenged them, and at 1 o'clock is tough for everybody to get here, but boy, they were so loud, especially in that third set. How much did they fuel you guys today?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's always a blessing to be able to play in the Bob, and they did not disappoint. I remember we were making efforts on social media, hoping for people to show out, and I remember watching, I'm like, they're not going to disappoint. They're going to show out like they always do, and so it was really fun to see everybody get into it.
Yeah, this was the point that you guys made the exit last year. How much did this one mean to you personally?
A lot. So I've lost a lot of semifinal matches or semi-regionals in my life, and especially after last year, this game in particular meant everything to me. Everything after this is a cherry on top. The national championship, that may be someone else's expectations, but mine, it was beating in the semi-regionals because of how much it hurt last year. And so I'm excited for what the future holds, but being able to take this win today was huge.
You know, everything that you guys have done up into this season has prepared you for this run. So, you know, how ready are you guys to manage whatever it is, whoever it might be that you face, and get ready with a quick turnaround on Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. taking it game by game. We plan on hanging out to watch a set or maybe two. And I don't know, just like we always do, just being intentional in scouting and practice. This is really the time where you can't take reps for granted just because we don't get as many, just for saving energy, and bodies are breaking down at this point. And so just continuing to be intentional.
Becca, appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
How fantastic is she?
Great.
But I loved, my favorite part was when I asked her about that 1 point. And how big of a lesson is that? When you're doing these drills you don't like, when is this ever going to happen? And then it comes into play. And I mean, she is fiery and she is passionate and she gets fired up for everything. But she was the most fired up for that point right there. And she wasn't getting the kill or the block, but because of how it all unfolded, because of the work that she had put in, thinking back about that drill, it just, to me, what a great lesson for young athletes, that, hey, everything that you're doing it for a reason. But she is so great. I love talking with her. Hopefully we'll get a chance to sit down with her and Josiah at some point.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be great.
Every coach on that team, if they hear that quote, are going to smile, because they go, that's why we do the drills.
Yeah.
Because that situation's going to come up, and she flashed back in her mind, all right, we do this every day in practice. Take my time and execute.
And boy, she was from the start, and even though they only had one block, which is kind of crazy in that first set, and then they had multiple, but I asked Merritt Beeson about that, and she said it wasn't so much that we weren't blocking well, we were in the right spots, but we were getting more errors as opposed to stuffs. And so, but Becca was really on fire from the start. And I mean, you just heard her ask her how much this meant to her. It really hurt her last year, this team getting bounced in the Sweet 16. And so she wanted to avenge that here today, and boy, she did.
Mike and Grand Island, maybe a little off topic, but regarding the Alec siblings, heard they are from Lincoln. Were their parents athletes in college? I don't know. Becca went to Waverly High School. Josiah went to North Star, but I don't know about their parents. I don't know. But they produced two really athletic kids. I mean, and big. I mean, Josiah's 6'9" or 6'10", and Becca's probably 6'2". I mean,
it was funny. I was talking to one of the members of the football coaching staff, and he was saying that he saw Josiah, I think when he was in New Mexico, and said, boy, you need to play football. Josiah would make a great tight end, too.
Sure would. Yeah.
He's got the body type for it, the frame for it. But yeah, those are two great athletes there. And I love how they support each other. When they can, they are in the stands. Like I've seen Becca in PBA multiple times. Obviously, Josiah, we've seen him on TV a lot. He wears those red and white striped overalls. He goes to the volleyball matches as much as he can. It's neat, and I think they live together. I think they're really close, but they're very supportive of each other. But all that being said, that's not the reason why Josiah came here. He wanted it to be the right fit for him, but it's just kind of the icing on the cake that he gets to now spend a year with Becca. But it had to be right for him. As much as Becca might have helped recruit him, but he wanted it to make sure it was the right fit, and it was. But now it's really cool to see how they get to feed off of each other and support each other.
Art in Los Angeles. Greg, I don't know if I will celebrate more, the Huskers winning the next volleyball match, or if Wisconsin gets beat tonight. I'm going Huskers win, get to the Final Four. So, Art, I know everybody kind of wants Wisconsin out of the way. They've won the first set. They're up 17-15 in set number 2 up in Madison. Seatbelt use saves lives and prevents injuries. Nearly 15,000 lives saved per year. Buckle up. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More texts that we need to get to. We'll do that. If you want to fire off some more, fire off a phone call. We'd love to talk to you. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up hour 1 next.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start. Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Final segment of Hour 1, 402-413-2400. The number to call up with a comment or question. John in Omaha on our text line regarding Husker men's basketball. I wonder sometimes if scheduling soft to start the season has an impact on the two-game stretch like we just saw, but it is so early. This could end up helping in the long run. You always need a reality check to understand where you are and where you need to go. I have confidence in the adjustments Coach Hoiberg will make. Go Big Red, John and Omaha. That's a good point. Mm-hmm. And we've seen Coach Hoiberg really make adjustments the last couple of years where this team was playing really well by February.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's of detriment to this team to have scheduled the way that they did. I don't think that's the reason why they lost last night. You and I have said that all since the schedule came out last year. It's probably a little too daunting. They had a lot of new players that they were working in, trying to gel, and especially when you play in the Big Ten, there's just no need to kill yourselves in the non-conference. But yeah, this is a good early test on the road and learning how to, even though Rink Mast and Josiah Alec and Bryce Williams have played high-level basketball, they have not played Big Ten basketball. So even just experiencing the atmosphere on the road, I mean, they let Minnesota get in it, and then it seemed pretty loud. It seemed like, they started feeding off of it. They got a lot of confidence. You just figuring all that out, and they'll learn from it. They'll get better, and I agree. I mean, Coach Hoiberg will make adjustments. You and I were talking about that in the commercial break. He's a great coach at that, getting a feel for his teams and what needs to happen. And I think, too, just which lineups play the best together and who are needed in certain situations. I mean, he's just got a lot of options that still are a work in progress that you want to get out there, you want to get minutes, but who plays the best together and when and what times, and when you're needing a bucket, when you need defensive stops, who do you go to? And so, yeah, I just think it's a work in progress, and I think Coach Hoiberg will continue to figure that out along the way.
Yeah, so many games to go. The last time was one of 20 league games, so I know a lot of people were kicking the dog last night. I hope you didn't do that literally, but upset about that, and today there's just been the sky is falling mentality. There's so much season to go, and this team showed you in the first half what they can be.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn good.
I think that's what I was just about to say is, yeah, it's disappointing that they didn't close out and didn't pick up the win. But to me, I got a lot of I just saw so many positives in the first half of the potential of this basketball team and how tough of a matchup they could be. You just got to put it together for a full 40 minutes. But that I just saw a lot of flashes of good. I took, yes, it was disappointing they didn't get the loss, but I took a lot away. I thought that, hey, you can go back and look on film and see the things that were working, and this is what they could be. That was almost as good of a half of basketball, right, as they played. Maybe didn't shoot. Casey didn't shoot it as well, but like everybody else probably, and just the way that they were playing defensively and the rhythm that they were in, one of the better halves that they've played so far this season. So they just got to put all that together for 40 minutes.
Doug in Norfolk on our text line, is there any news about portal players wanting to visit or committing to Nebraska football? nobody's committed. I think that the staff is reaching out to some. I don't think it's a big number. I think it's a smaller number. Obviously, I think they're looking for a quarterback. I don't think that's a secret to anybody. But there was news from a Husker going in the portal today. Timon Lynham is going to go in the portal. That surprised me a little bit. His playing time really went up as the season went along. He was playing a lot there late in the year. In that one game that Quentin couldn't go, I think he played a ton of snaps in that game. I think the staff liked him. So I was a little surprised by Timon getting in the portal.
I was too, and especially too because Evan Cooper came on and was really bragging about him both times that when he talked about him in the summer before camp, and then when he came on his show, he really bragged on him and the job that he had done. But I don't know, he's a Florida guy, right? So maybe wanting to get back closer to home. I don't know. But yeah, I would have expected his playing time to really increase next year. But you also don't know the kinds of conversations that are being had with coaches and what their roles might be. And maybe because we've heard that from the start, they're going to be honest with them, talk them through what it looks like moving forward. And if it's not right for you, then okay. But as far as a player that maybe you saw some potential moving forward with having a bigger role, that's a little surprising to me.
And Doug, as far as smoke around portal additions to Nebraska, again, it revolves around a lot of quarterback names that are out there, and I think the Huskers are kicking the tires on some guys at the quarterback position. One interesting name that popped out today was Princewell's brother entered the portal. He's playing at Florida, had some pretty good numbers for the Gators.
Wow.
Got a family connection here. That would be a nice little addition.
That would be a great addition.
Good defensive player.
Yeah, for sure.
And
they're really close, really close. You know, when I talked to Princewell over the summer and asked him about growing up and playing behind him, boy, he's really close with his brother. So, who knows? We'll see.
So, we'll keep an eye on it. I'll try to get you a number tomorrow night, folks, for how many visits we'll have this weekend. I think they're expecting a couple of official visits for the weekend. A lot of the young men, and we're at 26 commitments for this class, a lot of them have already been on their official visit to Lincoln, so they're not going to come back around. I mentioned this the other night, that we had a lot of official visits last December because of the coaching change. You're allowed a second official visit when a school goes through a coaching change. Well, that's not the case this year. So a lot of the young men that are committed to Nebraska have already used their visit. Most of them came for a game at home during the season. So we had a lot of them here throughout the year during there. But I think they are anticipating a couple guys to be on campus for the weekend. We'll try to get that for you. Try to get that for you tomorrow night here on the program. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. What a second set going on up in Madison. 22-21 Penn State. They lead the Badgers. Wisconsin easily won set one, but Penn State inching closer to maybe stealing set two and evening that matchup at a game apiece. Still quite a bit of volleyball to go. There are 4 night matches, 2 in the Wisconsin Regional, 2 in the Stanford Regional. So if you love college volleyball, you got a lot to watch throughout the night. They're also playing some Big Ten basketball over in Ames. The Cy-Hawk game between Iowa State and Iowa. Iowa State, this is the men's game. The women's game was last night. Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes went into Ames and won. Right now, the men's side, it's Iowa State 26, Iowa 14 in that matchup there. When we come back, we'll have more volleyball reaction. We'll also talk some Husker wrestling. Jessica sat down with 149-pounder Ridge Lovett. We'll have that conversation for you on the other side. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Senex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Good evening, I'm Duke Rude, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Nebraska volleyball team advanced to the Elite Eight today after a sweep against Georgia Tech. With the win, the Huskers advanced to the regional final for the 11th time in the last 12 years. Nebraska will host number 3 seed Arkansas Saturday at 5 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 4 on the HRN. After the game, Coach Cook took to the podium where he was asked about finishing off the third set strong and closing out the game with a win.
Well, I think it was what Amy said, that play, not only did it give us confidence, I think it deflated Georgia Tech, because it's like, okay, what do we have to do to get a point and get, that was just a, willpower play, and it just sends a message to the other team, like, these guys, nothing's going down.
Former Nebraska baseball star Alex Gordon will be inducted into the College Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2023. During his time with the Huskers, Gordon was a 2-time All-American and first-team Big 12 entry. The 2005 National Player of the Year was the number 2 overall pick with the Kansas City Royals, where he spent his whole 14-year career. In the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers host the New England Patriots tonight on Thursday Night Football. The Steelers are fighting for a playoff spot and will be without starting quarterback Kenny Pickett due to an injury he suffered on Sunday. That game kicks off at 7:15 on Amazon Prime. The NBA in-season tournament semifinals are tonight in Las Vegas. The Indiana Pacers defeated the Milwaukee Bucks 128-119 to advance to the championship on Saturday. And later tonight, the Lakers play the Pelicans at 8. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Chuba gets the shotgun snap, looking to throw. Being blitzed, rolls away from the pressure. Looking upfield, he's going to take off and run. He's got a first down to midfield. 45, Chuba to the 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
3, Kendall Murray sends the line drive serve to Harper, her younger sister. Perfect pass. Harper gets it back. Boom! Wow. Gravity is a mere annoyance to Harper Murray. 17-14 Huskers.
Takes a handoff, back to throw. Step throws downfield, taking a deep shot down the field, and the ball's intercepted. Picked off by Tommy Hill. Has an INT. He's at the 15 to the 20. Breaks a tackle. Skirts to the outside. 25. Makes another man miss. Slides his way to the 28-yard line.
Served by Laney. Bad pass, and that's an ace. They did it. Conference champions all by themselves, and the players dogpile. Oh, look at that emotion released.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Back with Hour 2, Sports Nightly here on a Thursday night after the Huskers won a regional semifinal match earlier today, sweeping Georgia Tech. They will face the Arkansas Razorbacks. Henry just told you that. That'll be at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Husker women's basketball will be jumping into conference play. They've got a road game at Michigan State, and my goodness, what an effort they put up the other night against UNC Wilmington. The now first road game in league play. It should be a real battle on Saturday.
Yeah, and Michigan State is third in the nation in scoring offense. They're averaging over 93 points a game and lead the Big Ten, and so they can put up the points. And Coach Williams was talking about that last night. They have 5 people in the score that are on the floor that can really stretch the floor, and they're tough to defend in that regard. But on the flip side of that, they don't really. When you have players like that in a kind of a system like that, probably you don't have the kind of personnel to match up with someone like Alexis Markowski. So we'll see. It's going to be a fascinating matchup, a little bit, I guess, like the Creighton matchup a little bit, how that looked. And so, but yeah, big one. And boy, they have put together some pretty impressive offensive numbers here over the stretch of the last game and a half. So we'll see if they can carry it over.
New coach in East Lansing this year for their team. And then Michigan State's men will be here Sunday to take on Fred Hoiberg's team at PBA late afternoon tip at Pinnacle Bank Arena. So it's the Huskers and the Spartans on the basketball court, both the men and women, over the weekend. Well, earlier today on our network, we had John Bader, Lauren Cook West, describing the action of the Huskers beating Georgia Tech. after the match was over. In their post-game, they sat down with assistant coach Kelly Hunter. We thought we would replay that, so here's JB and Lauren with Coach Hunter.
Kelly Hunter, victorious assistant coach. Congratulations.
Thanks, JB.
Your thoughts after this one?
It was a fun Sweet 16 matchup. I know yesterday Coach kind of challenged the fans and the governor a little bit to be here, and they showed up right from point one, and we could hear them all throughout the warm-ups and everything. And so we're really lucky to get to play at home and in this venue, and there was a lot of energy, I would say, in the Devaney on the court from both teams, and it was a gritty match.
So the fans were the secret to today's win.
They always help us, for sure.
Nice, but it seemed like the suffocating defense had a little bit to do with it.
Yes.
But Georgia Tech, they looked unhappy. They were giving us a little negative body language there after a while.
Yeah, they're an emotional team, and with that, there's the highs and lows, and so we had kind of talked about that before the match. Just they're emotional. They bring a lot of energy, and our side, we've been talking about bringing energy as well, so our goal was to kind of deflate them a little bit, and you do that by serving tough, blocking, and defense, and I would say that's exactly kind of how the match went.
Well, one of the deflated Yellow Jackets was Tamara Otene. 14 attack errors, 9 kills. She hit negative. She was our leading attacker for the whole season, hit better than 200. Not today. What was the game plan to slow down Tamara Otene?
For us, we kind of defend pretty similarly. We want our middles to be able to kind of get to a bunch of different situations, but I think we did a good job scouting, first of all, their setters and their tendencies. And so as a setter, and Lauren might be able to chime in here, you don't want to have too many tendencies so the team knows exactly where you're going. So we kind of knew and where those setters went, who was going to get the ball, and then I think because of that, our middles were pretty much always there.
That's scouting.
That is scouting.
So are you saying they telegraphed where they set, or they just, regardless of what physically they were telegraphing, you kind of knew where the ball was going to go depending on certain scenarios?
Yeah, it depends. Each setter is a little bit different. Some setters will show where they're setting. Some setters like to make certain choices based off of where they're at on the court, but I'm sure you guys could see they really liked that long distance play where it was in the air a little bit longer, so I think our block just had time to see the set, see the hitter, and time to be fully formed.
Kelly, you're in charge of Bergen Riley, and she was running the middles in transition, and she did that for all 3 sets, and I thought you guys were really effective running the middles when you set them in trans. So what was different about today, and how did you get her to step up and do that?
I think we've been really talking about offense and our choices since January, really, and so a lot of the times during matches, I'm not really even talking to her and kind of giving her that much feedback about that type of stuff, but I think it's just one of our things is we always want to own the middle of the court, whether it's with our quick attack or with our BIC, but that's kind of a staple of our offense, and so with that, we've got to pass great, dig great, and get the ball to the middles, but Bergen's really just fearless, and she'll go for it, and almost to the point where, I mean, she had a double tonight where she was just trying to get there and keep tempo and run some offense, and that's going to happen when you take risks, and I think she does a good job of doing that.
And then Merritt Beeson is one of the best right sides in the country, but what we noticed especially today is they're taking away cross court, she's swinging down the line. They're taking the line, she goes cross court, and she's so effective. So is that her just seeing the block, or what makes her just such a dynamic attacker and able to hit what's available and what's open to her?
I think a lot of it is vision, like you said, seeing the block, and so for her it's just, okay, not hitting the same shot that she's comfortable with, but it's just, okay, what's the situation in front of me? Is line a good option? Is cross a good option? Is tipping a good option? And great hitters have that vision where they're able to do whatever they want with the ball whenever they want it, and so I'd say she's worked really, really hard on that this whole year, and her approach and getting her in a good spot to be able to hit wherever, and so I would say she's put in a lot of work and it's paying off.
When you were playing, Kelly, we had MFT, Michaela Fecky time. Now we got MBT. Because whenever there's adversity, just set Merritt the ball. She was just awesome today. I mean, just whatever you guys have been doing to make her better. I was talking to Craig Skinner. He was saying last year for Florida, she was not nearly as good as she is now. What's been the secret coaching sauce?
I think there's just our team, we have a lot of balance. We have 2 great middles, we have 2 awesome left sides, and we have Merritt on the right. So when I'm thinking about how to defend us, it's hard because you want to just sit there and you want to read and get to everyone, but you just almost can't do that. So I think sometimes there's a way where teams can kind of give up something to try and stop something else. And we're very fortunate we have a good balanced attack, and we can see what they're doing to us and how we can have solutions based off of that. that. So I would say tonight their middle blockers were paying a little bit more attention to our middles and then our outside hitters as well, and so then that left a big hole for Merritt.
Now, what was the mood like in the locker room? Because Kentucky, or Arkansas, but especially Kentucky, could create a heck of a lot more adversity Saturday at 5 than Georgia Tech was able to today.
I'll use Coach's line. He said, we're only at halftime. So we're 3 matches in. If we want to go all the way, it's 3 more. But I've said it all year long, and our team has said it all year long. We're just focused on exactly what's right in front of us. And Coach is always really good about celebrating, hey, we got to win. Every win, he always says every win in the Big Ten is a great win. But now he's kind of flipped it to every win in the tournament is a great win. And so we celebrate that, but it's short memory. We say the game has no memory. And so now we're just on to the next. The Huskers are going to stay here and watch at least one set, so they'll get some recovery in until the set starts, and then they'll watch that and start scouting a little bit.
She's just so impressive.
Sure is.
I mean, we've said it throughout the season, getting to chat with her through the dig, and a lot of people post about it on our YouTube video. She sounds like a head coach. She just does. Her mindset, her mentality, how she sees the game, it's super impressive. But I always learn so much listening to her, and they got a great coaching staff for sure.
And she's still she's still a young woman. I mean, she was the setter prior to Nicklin, so that isn't that far back, and yet she's just like this freshman class has a maturity about her. You're like, you need to be a head coach someday, and I think that will happen for her. I don't know if it's here; it'll be somewhere, I think.
I've thought it's been pretty cool too to hear. We heard it in the press conferences throughout the last couple of weeks, and then today it got brought up really unsolicited by both Becca and Merritt about the coaching staff and how their game planning and how they challenge them and prepare them. And it's not just Coach Cook. I mean, Coach Cook obviously leads the charge, but the whole staff, how well they work together and how they. It's got to be daunting a little bit coaching a team like this, and it sounds weird but there's so much talent, and there's just as much pressure on the coaching staff to get the most out of those players as it is on the players. And so how they've continued to raise the bar despite the things that this team has accomplished along the way, and continuing to push them and challenge them, and how they've motivated them. They've just done such a great job, and certainly Kelly Hunter's a big part of that.
Great stuff. All right, Huskers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Saturday, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock pregame coverage here on the Huskers Radio Network. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Husker wrestling. One of the best in the country, 149-pounder Ridge Lovett. We'll have that conversation next.
Husker fans, this Saturday, your #1 ranked Husker volleyball team is set to host the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament. Your postseason coverage is presented by John Henry's, the official plumbing, HVAC, and electrical partner of Nebraska Athletics, bringing you all the action on the Husker Radio Network. Broadcast coverage starts on Saturday at 4 with first serve at 5. Listen online or on the air. Go Big Red.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has been delivering you confidence in car buying since 1975, and now we're giving you the convenience of doing it 100% online with Buy Now. Anytime, from anywhere, you can compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected, pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that are available to purchase completely online. Shop smarter with personalized, estimated payments on all the inventory. Apply for financing and schedule your driveway delivery all online. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Welcome to Sue's Frame Shop.
Yes, can you frame these, please?
These are Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic Scratch tickets.
I know. Isn't the classic Christmas artwork on them just charming? Now, be sure not to smudge it when you frame them.
But if you scratch them and enter non-winning tickets online, you could win up to $20,000.
Give me those. Here's a quarter. Let's start scratching.
Promotion ends January 3rd, 2024. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Welcome back inside the Acres Broadcast Center. Acres is the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer. They have solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Thursday night. Last weekend, the Husker wrestling team went to Las Vegas and finished second in the Cliff Keen Invitational. Like 32 teams show up with that thing. It's a huge event, kind of a mini national tournament. Nebraska crowned 2 champions. Peyton Robb won at 157, and Ridge Lovett, coming off of a redshirt year, was victorious at 149. Jessica had a chance to catch up with Ridge earlier this week.
Ridge Lovett, the #1 wrestler at 149 pounds. The last time you were here, we were talking about you finishing national runner-up, but we're glad to have you back and glad to see you back out on the mat this year.
Heck yeah, it's good to be back.
Well, how good has it felt this season after sitting out last year, after deciding to redshirt and being back with the team? How much fun has it been?
It's awesome. It's uncomparable to anything else. Just taking that time off and getting to come back, like that year off, like I was hungry again. I was itching to get back on the mat. Didn't get to compete a whole lot last year, so it's been exciting.
Well, fresh off a victory at the Cliff Keen Invitational, which you're a big fan of. Tell us about that, your run through it, and how exciting that was to be able to finish again on top out there in Vegas.
Yeah, it was a good time. I love Vegas. I've been competing in Vegas in the exact same room we were in this year since I was in middle school, elementary school-ish. There was always a big youth tournament down there, so it's always good to get back there.
You were telling me that it's one of your favorite events that you've ever wrestled at, and that if you tell people that if you're going to go to something, go to that one. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Take us through that.
You can get right down on the mat. Like at nationals and stuff, in Big Tens, you're way up in the stands, wherever you're sitting at and having to look down. But in Vegas, like, you're right on the mat. Like I was just telling you a little while ago, my best friend, him and his dad came out, and his dad filmed my finals match on the stage. He had his elbows on the stage filming. So it's like, it's an awesome tournament. You get to be right on the mat. You get to hang out with everybody, and there's some hammers there. Lots of good wrestling.
How good is that too? I mean, the team, you guys finished second, but it's good competition, right? And how good of a taste is it to get a feel for wrestling against some of those guys out there for as a whole team? It seems like, again, at nationals, a lot of times they'll say, oh, these guys matched up in the Cliff King Invitational because you're not in the same conference, but a lot of times you're seeing some of the top talent, right, that you're wrestling out there in Vegas?
Yeah, before Vegas, I saw on Twitter, it was like 70% of all the ranked wrestlers were registered for Vegas. Not all of them ended up wrestling. There was a few of the top-ranked guys who didn't go, but for the most part, it was 6 or 7 of the top 10 guys in every weight were there, so it's a good one.
How good is that challenge for an overall team to have that experience before you go into Big Tens?
It's awesome because we're about to get into that Big Ten dual schedule, which is really where it really starts getting tough. So getting to meet up with some of the tougher, high-caliber kids in your weight before that and just get a little preview, that's always good.
So it wasn't just you. Peyton Robb also finishes with the title out there in Vegas. What's been your perspective of him and what he's gone through and where he's already back winning titles at the Cliff King?
He's freaking tough, right? So we were talking about it like a little while after his surgery once he was coming back. We were like, he looks better than he ever has. Like, it was like nothing ever even happened.
Wow.
It was crazy. He's superhuman.
I was going to say, what is it about him that has enabled him? Because I talked to him over the summer and I was like, is he going to be able to wrestle this season? And here he is. He's back at the top of, I think he's 3rd in his weight class. But just what is it about him that allowed him to be able to make that comeback so quick?
I don't know. Just determination. Him and Weta got after it quick. And as soon as he was out of the hospital, he was back in the room doing rehab, doing push-ups. I remember those first few days looking over, watching him. He was struggling with the push-ups. And then a week later, he's banging out 50 of them. And then he's doing more body weight stuff, and then he started doing actual weight stuff, and then I don't know. He's something special. He's different.
It's going to be cool for him to follow you up a lot of times.
Yeah. That was something that I heard him talking about in his interview after the tournament was having me back in the lineup. Now we have that 1, 2, 3, Brock, me, P-Rob. It's going to be fun.
It's awesome. Well, we haven't had a chance to talk to you, so take me through your decision to redshirt last year. What were those conversations like? Why you felt like it was the right decision for you?
I felt like I kind of got exposed a little bit in the national finals. Like, I knew that I needed to work on my feet more. And then once I wrestled Yanni, like, right, he's the best. He's beaten world champs. He's been in the world finals. Like, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I just wasn't at that level yet. So taking the red shirt, I was talking with Snyder about it, and we were like, hey, like, is this something we want to do? We were kind of talking it over, and then we decided, like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to commit this year to development. We're going to go in. We're going to get better on our feet. We're going to get better on top, better on bottom, just better all around. But main focus, neutral, getting to legs, getting takedowns, and that's kind of how we went with that.
Was it hard at times, like not having the competition aspect of it and just that grind of getting better and improving every single day?
Yeah, there was definitely some FOMO. Like at Vegas last year, like I was seeing pictures after the tournament of me like standing on the stage, jumping up and down. And it's like I was a part of it, but like I wasn't like competing with my boys. So it's like I was still missing out on that part of it. Like, yeah, I was there. I was grinding with them in practice, doing all that, but I wasn't like really competing with them. So there was definitely some FOMO going on, but I think it was good. It was a good decision.
How did you feel going into this season coming off that red shirt? Did you feel different? Did you feel just more improved? What was kind of your overall feeling going into this season coming off the red shirt season?
I was hungry. I was ready to get back. I was ready to start competing again because like through like the whole COVID thing, it was like it kind of like really drug it all out, and at times wrestling was tough because it was like we couldn't go do anything. Everything was shut down, so it was like all we did was wrestle, it felt like. And then taking that year off gave me time to like miss it and really want to compete again. So I think that was really good too.
That's awesome. When you see some of the things that you're improving on, is that something where whoever you're battling up against in practice or sparring with that you say, hey, this is what I need to work on? Or how do you go about like kind of really focusing on some of those things?
Working with the coaches a lot, like with Tervel, Manning, Snyder. Like just yesterday, Tervel sent me like 6 or 7 clips on just YouTube clips that he screen recorded, and just like, hey, we want you to work on this week. We want you to do like work on this, and like tomorrow we have individuals. So Tervel sent me a bunch of clips, and he's like, this is what we're gonna go over this week. So like tomorrow morning, we go into practice. It's like, this is what we're gonna be doing, just working on these different areas.
You know, and when you said too, when you were not competing in duels and in playoff or at nationals and whatnot, but you're going up against these guys in practice, how much did you put that on yourself? Hey, I got to prepare these guys for what they're doing night in and night out.
Yeah, that was definitely part of it too. Just helping these guys to get where they needed to be, and just always being available for them. Like if anybody needed anything, any of the tournaments we were at, I was like, hey, like whatever you need, like you can use me. If you need to warm up before your match, use me. I'm here for you. And that also made me feel good, just being an extra tool to help these guys prepare, get ready, anything they needed. I was like, hey, I got you. Like just let me know.
That's awesome. So your first time stepping out onto the mat after that long wait, how did that feel?
It was awesome. It was awesome feeling to be back. It was the NDSU duel. It kind of sucked that it was on the road. I would have rather been at home for the first one back, but it was good. Went out there, wrestled a ranked guy, beat him up a little bit, scored a bunch of points. It was fun.
And then you get home, and you seem fired up the first time you went out there. So how did that feel to run out in front of Husker Nation for the first time?
It was awesome. I freaking missed it. It was a good time. There was a bunch of people there. It was loud. Again, put up a bunch of points. The first half of the duel was a little slow. Then once we started rolling, we just kept it going. I think we had like we had 3 techs in a row. Then Trelly scored one by like 14, and then Tebow finished it off with a tech. It was awesome.
How much do you like this group that's been assembled this year for this Husker wrestling team? Seems like Coach Manning's pretty excited about you guys.
I freaking love them. Our team right now, it might be one of the toughest teams that we've had since I've been here.
Wow.
And we've been tough every single year, but this group's something special.
How do you guys go about as a team? I know you have individual goals, and it's such a, it can be an individual sport, but as a team, I know this program has goals too. So how do you guys go about as a group approaching a season like, hey, these are the goals that we want to accomplish as a team?
Yeah, so like obviously the goal's always national title, right? And it is an individual sport, but like the team aspect, it's like really it's like the most team sport you can have, because my direct individual performance directly correlates to my team score. It's like the better I perform, the more team points we get, and it's just that along with just supporting all your guys, right? So it's like wrestling's tough. It's just you out there, so a lot of times there's a lot of pressure, and some kids struggle with that part of it. But like something that I saw that was super special with our team was when we were at Navy when Silas lost in the finals. It's like obviously that sucks, but the entire team was right there for him when he walked off the mat. And it's just like, this group's something special. Like, obviously a loss is tough, but the whole team was right there, patting him on the back, hugging him, telling him like, hey, like, you're good, bro. Like, it happens. We're good. We're going to get past this, and it's awesome. We're in a good spot.
How do you guys go about building a chemistry in the wrestling room? Because we've seen a lot of that with the football team, some of the other teams, but for wrestling individually, or this sport, how do you guys go about building that kind of chemistry?
Just battling every day. It's something special when you get to go in there and go freaking hard, go to war with these guys, and then walk out and you guys are all buddies again. It's a little different. It's a weird mindset knowing that I'm about to go in here and, like, me and Trelly last week were freaking scrapping. We went freaking hard. And then afterwards, it was like, yeah, that was freaking fun, dude. We went after it. And it's just getting to put time in there, work hard with your guys, fight, scrap, all that, and it just builds you up.
That's cool. So, you come off the national runner-up season, and then you redshirt. How do you go about managing the expectations that are just naturally in place for you this season, and just from fans, from, I'm sure yourself, this program, just how do you go about managing those types of expectations? You seem like a guy that kind of wants those kinds of expectations and wants that on your back.
I really don't think about it. Like, I hold myself to a higher standard than anybody else can hold me to. So I kind of do it to myself, but just living up to that standard every day, trying to do all the right things, do the little things right, and then everything else will take care of itself.
So now that you've been through it, you've gotten to the final match that you want to get to. What goes into that for an entire season from now until then that you have to do to be able to put yourself in that position again?
Just doing the little things right, working on little details with the technique, make sure I'm just working hard and just really just wanting it more than everybody else.
So you said earlier how much you love being in front of Husker Nation. Next time you guys will be out in action, December 16th, 6 o'clock against South Dakota State. There's not really a lot of opportunities to see you guys in Devaney this season, so this is one of those. How much do you guys want a big crowd out there to cheering you guys on?
Oh, 100%. It's awesome. When you get to run out and it's loud, whole bunch of red, love that. It's great.
Awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you guys back in action again. December 16th against South Dakota State. You can get your tickets on huskers.com/tickets. Rich, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. And can't wait to see you guys back in action here in Lincoln.
Heck yeah.
He's so fun. He's great. I always enjoy talking to him. But, you know, just hearing, you and I sat here when we found out he was redshirting last year, just shocked considering the talent that they had. But he seemed so much better for it, confident for it. He got better. It really made him hungry. And look out, he's on a mission.
Good stuff. He is going to have a terrific career. He is worth the price of admission, folks.
Yeah.
So next Saturday, they're home with South Dakota State. Then they got some huge Big Ten matches coming to the Devaney in January and February. Get out and see them.
Those three in the middle alone.
Wow.
Peyton Robb, Bridge Lovett, and Brock Hardy.
Yeah.
That trio is something special. You're talking about three potential national title winners that could compete for national titles, but it's a good group, and I know Coach Manning's really excited about them, too.
Good. All right. Hey, folks, seatbelt use saves lives, prevents injuries. Nearly 15,000 lives saved per year. Buckle up, this message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Wisconsin rolling Penn State now in set 3, 21-9. They're even at a set apiece in Madison, but the Badgers close to wrapping up set number 3 to go up 2-1 as the NCAA volleyball tournament continues at the 4 sites around the country. When we come back, we're going to play a snippet of The Place. It's a new documentary that came out a couple of hours ago. We've been giving you previews throughout the week. It deals with international student athletes here at Nebraska. We'll play you another little teaser of that coming up next.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Shop smarter online for your next vehicle with Buy Now from Woodhouse. Car buying 100% online from your local trusted auto partner. Easily compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected cars, trucks, and SUVs features, capabilities, and payments. Conveniently apply for financing and complete your paperwork for purchase 100% online, anytime from anywhere. Plus, we'll deliver it to your driveway. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
You could win a 2024 Porsche from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans will have a chance to win a 2024 Porsche if they make a full court putt at halftime at one of 4 men's basketball games. We've already had one of them. It was a Creighton game last week. Didn't make it. It's a tough one to make. If you'd like to get yourself registered, learn about the rules, go to huskers.com/putt. That's a lot harder to make that putt on a basketball court from 94 feet away than what our little putt thing over here is.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I was in the stands for that, and some people behind me, obviously some scratch golfers were sitting right behind me in the way they were talking, obviously, they were like, he didn't put enough on it. He didn't put enough on it. Sure enough, it made it there. It just took a really hard break. But how do you read the break?
It's a tiny little hole.
I
know. They're giving away a nice car, so
yeah.
They've got to make it a little tough.
Is it makeable? I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know.
Good question. All right. We've been playing the little snippets of the plays, which, by the way, dropped a couple of hours ago. It's the athletic department's documentary, and they pick a different topic a couple times a year to put these out. This one deals with international student athletes, and we played you a clip because K-Say's in this, Jazz is in this. We had those for you earlier in the week. There's also a couple track and field athletes that are in this as well. Here is a little teaser, and then you can go pull up the full version of the plays after the show here tonight. Let's listen.
To me, coaching international athletes, it's such a great opportunity to learn from them. Not so much about track and field, but just life, because you get to learn so much about a different culture. And to me, life is about growing.
Moving to the other side of the world with a different language and different culture was definitely not easy. But I'm so glad that we have such a great support around us.
I had zero English skill at the beginning when I came here. I was kind of all by myself. I was doing a translation on the phone, something like that, to figure out. But it was very tough. Walking on the street in Japan, people recognize me a lot more than before. It's kind of crazy for me, that much people know about me,
In Australia, we don't actually have high school sports, so you have to play professionally from a young age if you take your sport seriously. I didn't really know what it was at first, or I was getting messages from schools and stuff on Facebook, and my parents are getting messages kind of what is this?
The facilities were crazy. They don't have anything like this in Canada. Any big college sports like this, it's not really as popular.
Now this year with the volleyball day and just seeing the Annie being packed is kind of unimaginable, really inspiring to see.
I mean, I always wanted to come to the US, and everyone uses the phrase like there's no place like Nebraska, and there really isn't, but you don't know that until you're in it.
Boy, that's a talented group right there. That's some of the best, and you know, really across all sports here, and they've accomplished so much. You got a national champion in there. You got athletes that represent their home countries at the Olympics and World Cups and the biggest stages, and yeah, that's a lot of talent. It's an interesting topic too, and hearing all about their individual journeys. It's 42 minutes, but it's great. It's awesome. So I highly recommend going to watch it. But we actually had someone on our YouTube chat recommend doing that. They wanted to hear about those. It was a few months ago, and I passed it along, so I should have taken down the name, but someone in our YouTube chat recommended, hey, on the next place, could we hear some more? It might have been during one of Trev Albert's shows. So, but yeah, it's really cool to see just their separate journeys and how they got here and the things that they've been able to accomplish since they've been in Lincoln.
The voices you heard there was Justin St. Clair, Husker track and field coach. Then Axelina Johansson is the shot putter who won the NCAA championship. She's from Sweden. Casey was in there. Jazz was in there. Emma Spence, the gymnast. And then you had Till Steinforth, terrific heptathlete, decathlon for the Huskers. He's from Germany. And then Eleanor Dale, the great soccer player from Great Britain, were the voices, and they're the features of this thing. And as you said, it's over 40 minutes long, but it tells their story about how they came to Lincoln and what they've learned about being in the middle of America. Kind of cool.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, time and time again, I've sat down with Till, and Till's an excellent student and actually is helping work with the digital crew, and a lot of them, that's kind of what their goal is when they come here. And so, you know, just the resources that are provided for them to help get their education. It's really, really important to them. Most of them have academic accolades in addition to all their athletic accolades. So, but yeah, just really cool stories too, all different, but really neat to hear. And some Huskers that have made some pretty big impacts during their time here wearing that Nebraska uniform. No doubt. Eleanor Dale, and I've named her my weekend winner because she was named first team All-American. She is one of 3 finalists for the Soccer Player of the Year. That came out a couple of days ago. Wish her good luck. I know there's a gal from BYU. The Texas girl is not one of the 3 finalists. Florida State? Yeah, Florida State. Somebody from Florida State, Eleanor, and then a player from BYU are the 3 finalists for the Soccer Player of the Year. I don't know how you don't give it to her. She led the country in scoring by quite a margin, and the Huskers made it to the Elite 8. So they had the team success to go along with her great year. And a Big Ten title, too. Big Ten title. Regular season. But I actually talked to Jamie Vaughn, who is the sport administrator, and he was concerned that the Texas athlete would maybe get the nod because she was second behind Eleanor in goals scored and led the nation in assists. So you had those 2 categories there, but she's not in it. She's not one of the 3. You know, I don't know what BYU, I don't know what that season looks like for them or how impactful that was. But how do you not give it to someone that scored 28 goals in a season? To me, it's most of the time when you talk about the players that achieve the most accolades in basketball, it's the person that leads the nation in scoring. Yeah. A lot of times. Yeah. They're always in that. So I don't know. But with the team success to go along with that, making it to the Elite 8, to me, it's got to be a no-brainer. I know I'm biased, but it's got to be a no-brainer. Florida State won the whole thing. So that finalist, they've got the national championship to go along with it. And I don't know the stats of that particular player. But like you said, nation's leading scorer with the team that made the final 8. That's a really good combination to have there. So we'll monitor that. I think it comes out next week who gets the win on that. I got to tell you, it's going to be hard. And I know volleyball has a chance to win a national championship here in the next 10 days. But Eleanor Dale's going to be hard to beat for just Husker female athlete of the year. Right? I mean, greatest scoring record in school history. I mean, I don't know. We may not see another Eleanor Dale in a couple decades. It was unbelievable what she did. Okay, so the player from Florida State had 16 goals, 5 assists. What else? What else is a stat that you want to know? Well, that's probably the 2 biggest, and that her team won the national title. And they won 5-1 over Stanford. They rolled the Cardinal, who beat the Huskers in the Elite 8, but that's pretty good. Do have an announcement on Husker football, a decommitment from J.D. Crisp.
He committed to the Huskers after the Northern Illinois game. He was here in September for that. He is out of Cypress, Texas, listed as an athlete, 6 foot, 188-pounder, could play DB, wide receiver, that type of thing. So one of the Texas commitments, no longer committed to Husker football. So Nebraska's class goes down 1. This is the time of year some kids get a little up and down with their thoughts about this. And I think particularly for kids who are not close to Lincoln, the further away you get, they're more like, do I really want to go that far away from home?
Yeah, and don't they have to get down to a certain number too?
Might not be a bad thing.
I don't know.
We're over.
Yeah.
We are.
So I don't know. I have no idea. Again, we're not privy to those kinds of conversations, but I do know. Is there a penalty if you sign too many?
No, not a penalty, but you have to be like when school starts next August, you got to be at the 85.
Yeah.
So Huskers at 25 commitments for the class. We're inside of 2 weeks. It's 13 days from now is when signing day is. It's on December the 20th. We'll have more information about our coverage that day on Huskers.com. Well, spoiler alert, we should be having a stream to be thrown out there for everybody to watch and follow during that morning. Well, speaking of following along, we need to follow along into another Thursday night edition of Cole's Joke. We'll have it coming up next.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
It's time to light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Get our best offers and choose from a huge selection of Ford F-150 trucks with the capability, convenience, and technology to help bring us together. Wow. Discover how Ford F-150 can make the holidays bright. Now, get a new 2023 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 72 months. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture. Much more Acres solutions for every field. All right, back, final segment of our Thursday night show. We have, for the last 5-6 months, reserved this for Cole's Joke of the Week. And I got to say, they've been getting better.
Okay, when you had, this was your idea. This was your idea because he was telling you jokes in the studio during the summer. I was not even here when you started it. And then you said do it on the air, whatever. And then would you have ever thought, though, that it would have been continued into December 7th?
Never.
Or December 7th?
Never.
Here we are.
I sure didn't. I didn't have material planned beyond August.
Still disappointed you didn't have the Halloween theme carried through the entire month of October. And I'm also nervous tonight because young Duke left, which is not a good sign because he knows what your joke is tonight.
I'll tell you what, guys. The other day, my computer keyboard broke, and I spent hours trying to fix it. I ended up so frustrated that I just threw the keyboard against the wall and parts flew everywhere. And that was when the shift hit the fan.
All right. Let's
I mean,
what am I going to give that? I think that's about a 6. You set the over-under at 7.5. I'm going under on that one. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah. I mean, the delivery's there, Cole.
That's
but,
good. Really, his delivery's gotten so good.
Yeah. But content maybe not as high as last week.
I might add that I lost control.
All right, Jim's with me. Jim gives it a 6.
But hey, the added second element to it, though, kind of raises it a little bit, right?
Dennis is a tough grader every week. He gives you a 5. Dennis is routinely low on your jokes. Justin in the chat room goes with a 6. I think we're kind of in that 6 range, which that isn't awful, right?
No, you can't have a perfect night every time.
4 hours to Lincoln, so it says, I love it. It's getting close to raunchy. He gives you a 9.
I mean, there were a couple weeks he got 3s and 4s. So, you can't hit a 10 or a 9 every week. So at least you're above 5 on this.
What do we got? Art?
6.25.
Oh, 6. That's Tim, right? Tim in Minnesota, 6.25?
Oh, Tim in Minnesota said 6.25. Art said, not the best, Cole. Sorry. It's 5. A 5.
Yeah. So I think my 6 is pretty accurate. Justin goes, Justin's bumping it up because of the follow-up, because you gave the follow-up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, the follow-up.
Get you to 6.85.
The losing control. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's all good, right? It's all good. Wisconsin did win the third set. They're up 12-7 in the fourth, so they're inching closer to making their way to the region final up in Madison. If you love volleyball, you got another match in Madison tonight, Oregon and Purdue, and they're starting at 8 o'clock out in the Stanford Regional, the first of 2 matches. You could be up till about 1 a.m. tonight watching volleyball.
So call it now. Who do you think it's chalk? You think it's all number 1 seeds?
No.
Who you got?
I think Louisville can beat Pitt.
Okay.
I think the Huskers win.
Think Wisconsin wins?
Oregon's pretty good.
I think Stanford, Nebraska, to me.
Stanford almost lost last week. They got pushed to 5 by Houston. Houston.
So, but
would it surprise you if Texas came out of that regional?
No. But they aren't as good as they were last year.
They're not. No, they're not as good. So, I don't. Chalk's boring, right? But I don't want it to be here.
You want it to be chalk on this.
I don't want it to happen here.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't, but I wouldn't. This one right here, I'm not counting it out till it's the Fat Lady Sings, just because they've had some battles already. But Purdue if Purdue advances past Oregon, they could give Wisconsin a push.
How about throwing 3 of the Big Tens in that? I don't like that.
Well, we talked about that. It was there's the Big Ten bracket, there's the SEC bracket, and then there's the ACC bracket.
Yeah. Crazy how that all went out. All right, we're going to cut you loose tomorrow night. You've got a well-deserved long weekend coming up. Travel safe on your journeys. We'll be back on Monday with you. But we have a great show tomorrow night. Lauren Cook-West is going to come in here and join me for a little bit.
Yeah, she's in town and happy to help, and she's just got such a great perspective. I always love listening to her. So, yeah, she'll be fun to have in studio.
That post-game interview with Kelly, JB needed to be quiet and let the 2 setters talk.
Right?
Let the 2 setters talk, JB.
I know. I loved hearing that back and forth. That's a lot of knowledge in those two brains.
Think alike. I mean, they all think about that stuff because they've both that position there. Should be fun. 5 o'clock Saturday for the Huskers against the Arkansas Razorbacks for the right to go to the Final Four, which is in Tampa next Thursday for the semis, next Sunday for the national championship match. We've got Husker basketball over the weekend. The women will play at Michigan State earlier in the afternoon on Saturday. The men will be at home. Huge game for them against the Spartans on Sunday late afternoon at PBA. Solid 6 for Cole and the joke tonight. I would have thanked Duke, but he left, so I'm not going to thank him. You all have yourself a great night. I'll be back with you tomorrow night for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly. Have some fun.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has been delivering you confidence in car buying since 1975. And now we're giving you the convenience of doing it 100% online with Buy Now. Anytime, from anywhere, you can compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected, pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that are available to purchase completely online. Shop smarter with personalized, estimated payments on all the inventory. Apply for financing and schedule your driveway delivery all online. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Welcome to Sue's Frame Shop.
Yes, can you frame these, please?
These are Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic Scratch tickets.
I know. Isn't the classic Christmas artwork on them just charming? Now, be sure not to smudge it when you frame them.
But if you scratch them and enter non-winning tickets online, you could win up to $20,000.
Give me those. Here's a quarter. Let's start scratching.
Promotion ends January 3rd, 2024. Top prize odds vary by game.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.